Okie dokie. So you guys can see my screen with the model, right? So before actually we get to this, I'll kind of run down on how to start your model coordination to be enabled on BIM 360. So once you're in BIM 360, you can go to your project admin. And in your project admin, you can control a lot of different things, and you can add people, you can enable different features of BIM 360. So here you can go, typically I think it defaults to members. So whenever you go to project admin, you go to members, their companies, their services, and profiles. So under project admin, if you go to services, you will be able to see a bunch of other tools that we can use, and they're all like hidden. So if you haven't like activated your model coordination, it'd be similar to like all these other fields. So all you have to do is just click on activate. So once you activate, it takes a couple seconds. You might want to refresh your page afterwards. And then once it's been activated, it will show up on the left side. It says model coordination. And then you just go in there into the model coordination area, and it'll show you a bunch of options like how you want to store models and whatnot. So once you're here, you'll have this like coordination space question, or where you want to create a coordination space. So you would click create, and once you click create, it will give you an option, kind of like where do you want the folder to be set up. And that folder is going to reside in your document management. So model coordination needs to be enabled concurrently with your document management. So if I were to hypothetically create, it will open this up. It will create a folder in model coordination, and you will create a name of the folder, and just type in here model coordination, and that's what I did to keep it simple. And then I might be getting ahead of myself actually at this point. You might want to create a subfolder under plans, model coordination, and then choose that model coordination folder once you get to that stage. So maybe once I go through this, we can example create on one of the projects, maybe industrial if you haven't created. But after that is done, you're pretty much ready to go. And what we're gonna do once we're done with the BIM 360 side of the setup, we'll just go ahead and check like we have the folder set up in the plans folder, that there's model creation, and then this model coordination, and then link this model coordination to be the workspace for that specific job. And then all you have to do is just create your 3D views or 3D views that from your project file to load it into. So I'll just jump into the Revit side, and then like again, maybe we can do some, we can use industrial as example setup, at least for the BIM 360 side of the thing. So in order for the model coordination to work, we want to create a 3D view of the only things that we want to collide or clash against. So for us, and then this is a Stanford Schultz project, I have my own 3D view, and then also at the same time, I created a 3D view only for WWP only. So before you like start creating your views, or once you start creating views, just make sure that you delete all of the, or make sure your view template or view is only set up to show everything that we do. So I've went and turned off all my external links in my Revit. So it's only showing what we're building. And then for me, like I haven't added the floor. So if you have the floor, you can also add your floor and everything to it, and everything that you want to clash against. So that's my WWP 3D model. And then for my purposes, I was clashing a structural model. So I went and created another 3D view just as structural. And this one only going to show structural elements. And for that, I made sure that my model was showing everything that pertained to structural element, all the frames and columns, specialty equipment, sometimes that are the gusset plates, side plates, and all that, make sure that they're all turned on. so that you're checking that clashing too. Another useful tip that I got from Rajiv was that once you've created your 3D views, WWP only, structural, and glass, if you're using glass and other like MEP stuff, once you create the 3D view, you can go ahead and click down here where this house icon is. It says lock 3D view. You can lock it so you don't have to always like rotate it and they're always in the one uniform or one universal location. And it just makes it easier and you don't have to like run around or whenever you accidentally click on it, it's not in a different orientation. I'm not sure if it really matters for the project, but or for the model coordination, but it's just keeping everything kind of locked in one spot, same angle, makes it look much more neater. So once you have all the 3D views that you want to clash them against, just go ahead and create a publish setting. So for myself, what I did was I just created a model coordination 3D views, and I dropped in all the 3D views that I want to clash them together. So for future reference, like if I have an updated structural or glass, all I would have to do is update my external link, and I don't really have to mess with anything else afterwards. And whenever I feel that I need to run the clash detection again, I just come in here, follow my typical publishing procedures, come in here, do all that, and then sync, and then go to my manage cloud models, and I just publish my main project file because these are all 3D views within that. So it aligns pretty well with our current, like the publishing standards that we have for production drawings. So you just come in here, make sure your model is up to date and synced, obviously, and then you just kind of look at it. Okay, so this is last synced, everything pans out, click publish, and done. So once that's completed, you can come back in here and then it publishes all that 3D view into the plans folder. And then from here, you can, if you haven't, and it's same with, like similar to our projection like IFC drawings, right? Like if it's your first time uploading into your model coordination space, then you just click on it. Either you can copy or move. So since we want to keep WWP only view at all times out here, I copied, and in the structural I moved. And once that's done, if you go into your model coordination folder, that you will see that these models been copied over here. So this is not where the clash detection is happening. The clash detection is actually happening in here, model coordination, or like I'll call this a different subcategory within BIM. Once you've loaded your models into that folder, those models are being clashed against each other and doing all the background work inside here in model coordination, and it's being clashed in BIM 360 servers, so it's not like putting strain on our local computers. So what it took for me, it took about 20 to 30 minutes to finish clashing, but once that's done, everything was pretty smooth. So then you can come in here and see that you have 3 models in here, and then you can select the views or select the models that you want to put together and see in 3D. You can choose that and then just go view, and it puts those 2 3D models together, and then it'll kind of give you a bigger picture. And then again, it's depending on, I think in the future it may get a little bit slower depending on how much stuff that we have in there. And since we're clashing everything that we create, I'm imagining that it's going to be very big. But once it loads, it's pretty smooth after that. I'm just going to close out of this, and I can show you guys the clashes. So if you click on clashes, it tables or creates a matrices where it gives you the structural glass and or all the models that you input it, and then it's clashing against each one of itself. So like for structural, clashing against the structural 0, obviously. For structural, clashing against glass model, there's 3. Structural clashing against like our model, it's 6, and vice versa. It shows you what their clashes are. So like you can choose which one you want to. So these are your primary models, and these are your secondary. And then the reason is, or the useful thing is that if you click in one of these matrices, it will display what's clashing against what based off of the primary and secondary models. And I'll show you guys what that really means. When I say it out loud, it kind of sounds complicated, but when you see it, it's straightforward. Okay, so when it's like when the primary model is ours, like WWP only, it gives you the name of that item clashing with the secondary. So I like this feature better because I can tell like, oh, look, my S301 panel is clashing with what? It has one clash, and then it says it's clashing with structural floor. So then it makes it really easy to identify what is really important. And for me, like when I was kind of trying to understand the whole clashing, like if I have a bunch of HCAs that's clashing with the floor, then I know, okay, my HCAs are only for the embed, and then so those aren't like critical clashes and whatnot. So that was really easy to like understand, and I liked making ours primary, and I think that's how we would do moving forward. And then the other caveat or downside is that like it clashes all your generic models. So even though like when I was, so for example, like you're obviously, if you're clashing your structural floor against your R model, it's going to give you 4 different types of HCA being clashed. And then it's going to say the embed is being clashed, but it's only one embed family, right? The hardware family. But HCAs are separate families that are nested into that embed family. So then the clash detection counts them as separate items and says 5 clashes for really one embed. And so that really creates your clashing number significantly larger. But if you go through the initial long legwork of identifying if that clash is really an issue or non-issue, and run this clash detection again after you have an updated model, it seems to remember what you previously said is not an issue. So like, for example, if I go back to my clash detection, there is active clashes and assigned clashes and closed clashes, or assigned and closed. So if I go to assigned, that's where I created an issue for myself or for somebody to fix based off of the clash detection. And in the closed category, these are all the things that I went through to check whether it's a legitimate clash or if it's illegitimate clashes. And then you can see like here it says embed HCAs. And like if I look at this view, I had embed on the ground floor, and then it's showing that all of these HCAs are being clashing against. So I selected all of them and then said it's an embed HCA. And then I have created another one that says like, oh, these are just embeds. These are valid penetrations and whatnot. So they're like, when you're looking at your clash and to determine whether it's an issue or non-issue, you'll have an opportunity to choose the reasoning and the comment section. So like if I click on it, some of them I already captured the panel. Like I do have one that is, I think it's this one. I'm not sure where my comments are. Oh, here is the comments. It says like HSS to be placed correctly by ESOR. So that's like coordination item that I'm gonna bring up. And that's something that we've already discussed in our coordination meeting. So I just like disregard it as like it's not legitimate or so. So you can choose to disregard, and then next time you load it, if they're the same item, it doesn't let you, or it doesn't give you another notification saying, hey, it's a clash. So you're not like closing the same thing over and over again every time you run a clash detection. And the cool thing that I just realized is that it seems like you can reactivate it. So that's pretty cool. Just learning things as I go. And then again, you can create an issue here. Taking a little longer now. Probably because it's 107 degrees outside. There it is. I'm going to choose this, and then let's say I choose to make this an issue. Like, hey, this is an issue. And then I'm going to place my little issue round thing here. And then I can choose my type, status. I can change the title, and you can populate this however you like, and then change the description and create an issue. And then the same thing if I say this is not an issue, it gives you the reasoning. Choose the reasoning, a valid penetration, minimal overlap, model inaccuracy. And these descriptions, I think they're pretty straightforward and simple, that you don't really have to create your own. That's that. And then once you've completed that and created a bunch of issues, let's say like you have a sign, right? You have status and ID number. So if you notice, like these issues actually start at a number that is the next issue within the project. So not just in a model coordination, also it's built adding on to or based off of the issues that you've created in your general document management. So if you go back to your document management and issues, this is where all of the issues that you've created for this project entirely. So I had issues or ID numbers 1 through 5 that I already had created previously, and then from 6 through 15, these are all my clash issues. So this is the central location where it displays all of your issues that you've created, whether it was on the coordination drawings or it was on the clash detection or in our model. So anything that's an issue is here. And then from here, you can just choose or use this filter to filter out, like if you create an issue for your own, like a coordination item that wasn't a clash, then you can filter this out saying like, hey, I only want to show the clash, or hey, I want to only show coordination. Or for my case, like I have examples of like scope clarification. So if I go back and only show me scope clarification, then you can toggle here. And then I won't go too much in depth, but you can also do export a bunch of these, all of these. So once you filter it out, maybe if you want to create a coordination item for yourself or reference it in a meeting agenda, then you can create a PDF report or Excel report or CSV report and all that different cool fancy tools that BIM has. And that's pretty much it. And so do you guys have any questions before we kind of force Ryan to use his project as an example that we can do? No questions? Okay. Ryan, so then I'm gonna go to your project and create that model coordination.
I already made the folder. I didn't activate it though, just for you.
Okay, that's even better. So I'll activate it really quick.
And then I think I did the glass structural and R model 3D views already.
Nice.
So we should be okay.
Cool. So companies, services. Did you already activate this design club? Oh, it's a design collaboration. Never mind.
Oh, I did activate it, but I didn't like create it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not design collaboration. It's the.
No, we had design collaboration activated prior.
Oh, okay. But you haven't activated your model coordination.
Did.
Oh, wait, it is activated.
Broken.
But where's this showing?
Refresh, maybe? Weird.
That's weird. But it doesn't show up here.
Let's see here. Shows on mine.
Oh, really? Maybe I just need to like, maybe I can walk you through and you share your screen.
We could try.
Or, all right, one more time. Like, yeah, I don't know. That is strange. All right, I'm gonna relinquish.
Let's give it a go. All right, so model collab or model coordination.
Okay, so before we do that, let's go to your project admin. And you said you already created your model coordination folder in your document management, right? So we just have to sit here.
No.
And then just create, click on your project. Yeah, click on that. And then just type, go ahead and do like model coordination. Kind of match the folder name. Yeah, and then create.
Okay.
Okay, so this is your coordination space is called model coordination, and the folder path is plans, the model coordination folder, and then who created it, mattered by, and then the status. So I think this is used for like if you're trying to, if we had multiple folders that we wanted to like use as a model path, I think we can create a bunch of model coordination spaces and then activate and deactivate. So like if we had a different like different models, like I'm imagining, and I haven't done like super in-depth research, but I'm imagining like if people wanted to just clash two models at a time in the same folder, I guess they could create a bunch of model coordination spaces with the different folder names, like clashing between architectural and structural, clashing between electrical and whatever, and then they can choose the spaces and change, like activate it, change the status to activate or deactivate. But I don't think we need to do that. I think we can just use this one folder. So now that, now that you have it, you can go ahead and go back to your document management. Okay, so now you have your models in here, right? Like your actual project file, like WWP only view, and then your structural.
No, I haven't like uploaded these to BIM.
Oh,
I just made these like work specifically those.
Okay. Yeah. So once you upload it to here, then you can just create or once these views publish into your plans folder, you can just grab it and drop it into that model coordination folder that we did.
You just called it model coordination?
Yeah.
All right. Might take a minute to update.
Maybe you can refresh.
Yeah. And away they go. I don't know how long that's going to take though.
Okay, and that's pretty much the idea. Do you guys have any questions? Nope.
What was the tip to, you said something about locking like the 3D views or making sure that they're in the same spot.
What I did was I just clicked on, like on your cube, I just chose one corner, like whatever
Oh, okay.
corner I want, and then now it's in that view. So then I went down here on that house with the lock thing. I just saved
Oh.
a view, so I don't have to. It just makes it clear, like which view that you want to, which angle you were looking at the view at. Because we don't use these 3D views for anything. We always create our own that with manipulate and all that.
Oh, okay. That's good to know also for the cover pages.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool.
There you go. Don't move.
Don't.